Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm in Cudworth in Barnsley, and today we're going to be following the route of the Midland Railway between Cudworth Station and Royston and Notton Station. So I'm here today with Wet Dog. Feels like a while since he's been on an explore with me. So anyway, we're going to follow the route. Now there are going to be some other lines that we're going to come across on the way. I'm going to show you what we can see on the way down. Now in a previous video you'll have seen us cover the site of the Cudworth Station. Now that is just behind me. You can see these abutments of these bridges. Now what's interesting, you'll remember, is that the Hull and Barnsley and the Midland Railway both went through Cudworth Station. Before we continue, I'm just going to show you on Rail Map Online. The orange line that you can just see on the right here is the Hull and Barnsley spur that went off from the junction down towards Cudworth Station. Now the yellow line that runs to the left but adjacent to the Hull and Barnsley, you can see also goes down to Cudworth Station, but the lines never at any point connected. Now if you have seen the Cudworth Station video that I did a few months back, you'll see where I actually showed you where the Midland Railway and the Hull and Barnsley Railway terminated at the Cudworth Station. As we do continue northwards towards the Royston and Notton Station, we will cross paths with the other spur down towards Stair Foot of the Hull and Barnsley. Now back in 1840, the North Midland Railway was a railway line and a British railway company which opened its main line from Leeds to Derby. In our venture today, we'll be following the route between the Cudworth Station and the Royston and Notton Station. So what we're looking at here is the abutment to the Hull and Barnsley, and then just down here is the abutment to the Midland Railway. Now Johnny tells me that there was another bridge in the centre here that was demolished about 5 years ago. So there's a clearer shot of the abutment on the Hull and Barnsley. Cudworth Station would have just been behind there, and just now where that lorry is would have been the bridge onto the Midland Railway that formed a triangle just further up the line. So up there would have been the site of the Cudworth Station. That was the entry into the station, which we never got a shot of in that original video. Here you've got a bit of an embankment between Barnsley Road and this road, that's Cudworth Parkway. So the embankment ran between Cudworth Station towards where we're at now. Got a little stream going underneath a culvert underneath Cudworth Parkway that runs adjacent to the Midland Railway. Now we're going to continue our venture on the Midland Railway going up this embankment. The embankment did actually cross over this road. You can clearly see it's been demolished, and this road, this Cudworth Parkway road, has been put in place of where the embankment was, and I've been told it was built here quite recently. Now if you do remember my Cudworth Station video, you'll remember that both the lines, the Midland Railway and the Hull and Barnsley, actually went through the Cudworth Station, but at no point did they ever join. Now just down there, there is the track bed to the Hull and Barnsley, and right here is our track bed to the Midland Railway, where we're going to continue our venture, and we will cross paths with the Hull and Barnsley as we do carry on. Route of the railway is now all overgrown with trees and vegetation. A little bit of ballast that's been pushed up to the side right here, you can see a lot of it's been shoveled into the corner. Now just here is the site of the Cudworth South Junction, which did a curve off towards the Barnsley Main Colliery and Barnsley. You can just see the remains of a bridge there. Now all the land has been reclaimed, and it actually joins onto the Cudworth West Junction, which was just further down that way. It had a curve round and taking you through to the Monkbretton Colliery, and then the Monkbretton Station over the Oaks Viaduct towards Barnsley. And if you do remember my Barnsley Coal Railway video, you'll remember that I mentioned that line that came in towards Cudworth, which was here. You can just see down there the remains of the bridge, and then there's some kind of little culvert that you can just see running down there, and up there is now the site of a glassworks. So we're now slightly further up the line. Now this is the end of where the track disappeared when it went back down to Cudworth. So this line isn't used at Well, now you'll remember this line from when I did the Barnsley Coal series that went past Royston Junction. Now it's only used about once or twice a week, so I've heard, and it's used to carry sand to a glassworks, which then would have connected to the West Junction, the Cudworth West Junction, which I showed you on the maps, connecting from the Cudworth South Junction. You can just see the glassworks up there if I just zoom in. It's a nice building. I've driven past that many times, but didn't know it was the glassworks that connected to this Midland line. So you can just see here how it curves and it goes up to supply to the glassworks. You can see here that there's some old stone sleepers. Anyway, let's head on. To the left here, you would have had a signal box. And behind you would have seen that there was a bridge that carried the Hull and Barnsley that went down to Stairfoot, across over the top of the Midland line. Now you can't see, there is a bridge, there are abutments that's part of the Hull and Barnsley, but you can't see because of the vegetation. But there was a photograph taken that's from here showing the signal box and the bridge behind, so I'm just going to see if I can fade that in. I've been told that this is actually called the Monkbretton Loop. Now, as I mentioned before, the Hull and Barnsley crossed over this on an iron bridge. Now the abutments you can just see are still visible behind this bridge. We're going to take you around to have a look. So we're also going to take you to have a look at a bridge, the Midland Railway, that's just off, that we've spotted.
The abutment that you're about to see in the video is part of an old bridge that used to cross over the Midland Railway over an iron bridge that was demolished many years ago back in the 70s, that connected to the junction of the Hull and Barnsley Railway.
Just headed off the track bed and you can see this abutment of the Hull and Barnsley Railway that carried the line across the Midland Railway. Carried an iron bridge over that was demolished in around the 70s. You can't really see. It'll take you across the Midland line just over there. You can just see how the Hull and Barnsley, there's an embankment just over there, you can see it. And there's the bridge abutments. I won't go too much into that, I'm going to save that for another day. I'm going to head down here and just show you this bridge. Just on the side of the Midland Railway. Broken boundary marker we've just spotted. Looks like maybe a potential cable conduit there, or even a ballast bin. This is the bridge at the side of the railway, so it carries the Midland Railway onto the Monkbretton curve down towards the glassworks. It's got a nice stone looking feature, and you can see there's some brick. It's got like a brick arch, or it's 4 bricks wide. Looks like blue engineering brick, and it's coated in graffiti. Now apparently the looks like I'm in a tunnel here, but there were about 6 lines that went across. I can still see the one, and well, the 2 that's still there, and I haven't brought my torch with me, so I'm sorry about the lighting in here. You can see how wide the bridge is, so it was clearly built for a lot of lines. It's got a nice stone base at the bottom, and this is just the other side of the bridge. It's starting to rain now, so some good wing walls here. It's a great structure. So over there you can see the bridge of the line that we're actually following, and I thought just to show you the Hull and Barnsley is on this side, because you can see this bridge that travels along the Hull and Barnsley line, and it comes towards a V junction further up. Come across a gradient post here just over our shoulder. Over there would have been the site of the Cudworth sidings. Can't see much over there. If I'd have had the drone I would have pinged it up and shown you, but can't really see much. But they closed in around the 1970s. I will ping a picture up, because there is a picture showing you from the signal box which we showed you back there, showing the sidings in the background just over that bridge that the Hull and Barnsley crossed. Now to the left of me you've got the site of the Carlton Main Colliery. Now we've had a little walk on the site and there's quite a bit remaining. I'm going to go on there and show you what's left. So we're entering the site of the Carlton Main Colliery pit. See, it's open wasteland now. Some old boundary posts here. Now it is now part of a public walkway through now. We've had a little scope around and a rummage and we've found a lot of remains of some buildings, so I'll try and pinpoint what was where. We've got a mound of rubble right here with loads of red brick in there, so this would have been one of the buildings. Now I've not found anything on the internet that tells you what's what, so if you do know anything about the site of this colliery, please leave a comment. See a lot of bricks still laying around. You had about 4 or 5 sidings that came into the site of the colliery and they all split off, and you had about four or five long buildings down that way, and you can see a lot of stone work where there's buildings being demolished. Let's get you a clearer shot around here. You can just see here bases of some buildings, and if we walk further down here you can see a lot more rubble. You can just see here, look, and we have discovered an old brick company that's nearly about 100 years old. And look at that, you can see all the old support steelwork, and it looks like these were old concrete, I think. I'm not sure what the buildings were exactly, but if you like I say, if you do know, leave a comment. You can clearly see we've got a concrete base, so this was a building. You've got the remains of the building here. I mean, look at this, you can see all the old support and all the wiring, the old metal wiring support the buildings, I guess. Now we've come across some bricks. Now it looks like you can see the bases here of, you see more buildings here. Well, this was potentially the same building. Now we have come across this brick and it says Barnsley metallic on it. Now I have found some history that I'm going to explain about this company.
The Barnsley Metallic Company was founded by John William Bottomley in around 1904, and it was in his ownership until his death in 1929. The London Gazette records that the company was dissolved in 1936.
Anyway, I thought I'd just show you a few shots of the old colliery. So if we'd have had the drone, it has been a bit windy today, so we didn't bother bringing the drone out. So what we're going to do is now continue our venture up the Midland Railway towards Royston and Notton. Now somewhere around here you would have had the junction off the Midland line into the site of the Carlton Main Colliery. Just see it on the maps. Like I said, this fence is now being built and there's a lot of vegetation, but over there is the site of the colliery where we've just been, and the sidings would have come off here somewhere going right through into the colliery. So we just approached Shaw Lane. Now on the maps this bridge that we're on is referred to as a viaduct. Now come on, it's got like one arch. I'm going to go down there and show you what it looks like from the side. Here's a look at the bridge that carries the line over Shaw Lane. So just in the centre spot here you can see where the original bridge was, and in around the 1920s when the lines were extended, you can see here the change, the lining. Now it looks like it's been made out of similar masonry, so it's got like a stone base and it's got a concrete top, but the one further down looks like it was it's a steel bridge. So we've got the original bridge here. You can see the extension just on the other side, and then it looks like this part here was also part of the extension in the 1920s. Just to our left here you would have had the Warncliffe Colliery branch, which would have gone from around here to the left Now if you remember my Barnsley Coal Railways series, and I think it was part 3 where I mentioned that there were a branch off just after Staincross and Maplehall station of a colliery line that we said we were going to save for another day, and I'm going to mention it again. We will save that one for another day. So it branched off to the left here, and the Wharncliffe Colliery, the Wharncliffe Main Colliery, was around a mile down there. Now like I said, if it wasn't windy, I'd have brought the drone up to show you the tree line and the trap bed of the Wharncliffe Colliery branch. Was the site of a famous disaster where it was around 1936, and then it closed in around 1970. Come slightly further up the line now, so we've just veered off the track. So over here you would have had the site of Royston engine shed. Now all these houses were built for the purpose of the engine shed. So the houses were built by the Midland Railway. You can kind of tell with the masonry of the houses compared to the bridges. That looks of similar masonry. And it was obviously to house the workers when the line was built. So I've just come off a footpath, and this was the site of the Royston and Notton station. So like I say, don't confuse it with Notton and Royston, which I covered on the Barnsley Call. So the original station opened on the 6th of April in 1841, which wasn't here. And then in 1900 it was replaced with a new station before closing in 1968 on the 1st of January. So just across the track there you can see there's some wasteland with vegetation, and that's around about where the island platform would have been. And in the picture that I'm just about to put up, you can see that behind here somewhere there's some long gone houses. And the station was home to 4 platforms, but there's clearly nothing left. Just come across the base of what was known as Royston and Notton Station signal box. You can see the base here. Now there's not much else remaining of it, but this is the base you can see here. And then there's some, looks like made out of red brick. You can see here. There's the base of the signal box. Anyway, thank you very much for watching that explore on the Midland Railway between Cudworth Station and Royston and Notton. Thank you from myself and Wet Dog, and we'll see you next time. Take care.